Northern Ireland is a place historically known for its brutal conflicts and tensions among communities, being well documented as the terrorism capital of Europe. It never seems that there is ever really good news that protrudes from our small 6 counties. Young people that grow up here have minimal opportunity to thrive in certain careers and must look elsewhere for correct education. Young people here, in particular young men, are facing a different conflict entirely. A conflict of the mind. 3,600 people were recorded to have died as a direct correlation of the troubles here in Northern Ireland. A brutal and bloody war that spanned nearly 4 decades. In the last 5 decades, 8,600 people have committed suicide here in Northern Ireland, 2.5 times more lives than the Troubles have taken. According to NISRA, the Northern Ireland Statistics and Research Agency, which first started documenting suicides in 1970, when there were around 70 suicides a year during the most troubled time of this country. This number has quadrupled as of 2015, with a record high of 318 suicides, primarily men aged between 20 and 30 years of age. For women, suicide begins to take most effect between 40 and 50 years old. It is also agreeable that having a job or some form of day-to-day activity can help keep the mind focused and vibrant and restore a sense of purpose. However, put into the context of the UK, Northern Ireland has the lowest employment and unemployment rates and the highest economic inactivity rate of all UK regions. What about the rest of Europe? Lithuania is listed as the country with the highest rates of suicide, with 30 per every 100,000 inhabitants, but with a population almost double that of Northern Ireland's small 1.8 million people. This means that certain parts of Northern Ireland far surpass Lithuania's rates, making certain towns here in Northern Ireland the suicide capital of Europe. Why men? It's a hard question to ask. The only way that I could find to approach it correctly was to look at myself and my friends. Being the same age demographic as the young men who feel so lost and alone and have no other option but to take their own life. Was my experience always positive growing up here? Did it always encourage me to speak out about my feelings as a male? No, not at all. In fact, I recall a recent conversation with a friend in which he explained to me that he had once in primary school got a phone call home to his mother because he was crying too much. It's with the same friend that I had a conversation about the beauty in other cultures, their food, rituals, performances and holidays. He explained to me, it's just such a shame we don't have culture like that available to us here. However, we do. Just as the ancient Mayans would automatically make a child into a priest if they were born with a certain birthmark on their head, suicide in this country is like an ancient ritual. 1 in every so-and-so men are destined to commit suicide, just as a Mayan child was destined to priesthood. Our culture just isn't that beautiful. We smother men here. We put images and words into their heads from a young age which tell us that we must yearn to be strong and in control, when in fact, we're screaming out. We need someone to tell our men that it is healthy and natural to feel weak. Impressing your friends is temporary and being happy is priority. So what is it? What is it about this small piece of the Emerald Isle that is making our people feel so estranged and hopeless? One point I'd like to make, although it is not the final answer to our question. However, the statistics have been in front of me for the past few days, so I feel that I cannot ignore it. The direct correlation between suicides in local commissioning group areas, LCGs, and the advanced number of prescriptions for drugs such as pregabalin, diazepam and tramadol. All 3 of these drugs having adverse mental health side effects, even listed as suicidal thoughts and depression. North Belfast and West Belfast are shown to have the highest rates of suicide in the country, with North Belfast having 36 suicides in 2015 and West Belfast at 33. These areas also have the highest rates for prescription pain medication. Every year, Northern Ireland has an expenditure of £444 million on prescription pain medication, while only spending around £30 million on mental health services, according to Finance NI. We are also missing out on a good portion of suicide statistics as of deliberate drug overdoses. We are also missing out on a good portion of suicide statistics as deliberate drug overdoses are listed as drug deaths and not in line with the UK's official definition of suicide, which only includes self-inflicted injury or undetermined events. So the numbers we are facing could be a lot scarier than they seem. How can you help? There are various non-profit mental health charities in Northern Ireland that are calling for your help, such as Lighthouse, who are operating in the North Belfast region, the epicentre for suicides in the past 5 years, and have an available donation button on their website. Aware NI is a depression charity that has set up over 23 networks across the country. You can find a link for their fundraising pages on their website. If you have watched this video and felt that any of the factors apply to you, please reach out. Do not leave yourself in the dark. And please don't write this chapter of your life before you've finished living it. Things can only get better, my friends. Thank you.